Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our first set of semifinals between Red and Primal. We will be casting these semis, and then we'll be casting another set of semis, and then we'll be casting the third, the grand finale, and then a show match. So much StarCraft to go down, and for those that are watching the stream, thank you for your patience. Although this is running really smoothly, we're pretty much going to be doing non-stop StarCraft here until dinner break.
Non-stop StarCraft.
Hope your buddies are ready.
Brace yourselves. Orbital Shipyard is coming. Mr. MaximusBlack.
Yes, sir.
Hit me up with the sound of that primal sex that you go through after not having any for like 2 weeks and just got home from the gym and you're all jacked up.
Farouche!
It's accurate.
Starting up here in the top right position of Orbital Shipyard, we have Primal, and down here in the bottom left, we have Red Pack. Red Pack or Red Pac? Red Pack.
Red Pac is still alive.
Red Pac is still here. PvP, dude. It's our first PvP of Legacy of the Void ever here on LAGTV. Yeah.
It's the dream.
These guys will make history.
Now, do you have this map vetoed?
No.
Holy crap, we can talk about it.
This is a good map. This is a good map.
Okay.
It's a balanced map for all three races.
And there's 2 Protoss players. I can ask you anything I want and get an answer.
Yep.
Thank God.
Yep.
I actually have no questions except for what is this like for PvP? What is normally happening here?
Well, usually there's a fast expansion now. And there it is. Before, like I said in the previous game, there was never a fast expansion. If you expanded in PvP in Heart of the Swarm, you died.
Yeah, quick.
It's that simple. You just died to everything, unless you're God tier. Here, it's pretty normal to go ahead and get that expand because you do start with 12 workers. Chrono Boost is no longer as powerful as it used to be, and you can only Chrono Boost one thing at a time, basically infinitely, as we can see here on the Nexus. He has something Chrono Boosted right now, but he can't even build the probes because he's supply blocked, so that Chrono Boost should be going on the Warp Gate research instead. But basically, since the Chrono Boost is so messed up and the pylons warp-in times are so long, and the fact that the Mothership Core is actually, I think this is the reason why Blizzard made it so that the Mothership Core can overcharge pylons, is because once in PvP, it's not like PvZ or PvT where you can get a bunch of roaches and like one shoot a pylon, or you can get a bunch of Marine Marauders and just one stim a pylon. In PvP, it's much different. You can't just focus a pylon because your DPS is so little in comparison to having, because you don't have as many units. So when overcharges go off, you hold off everything. So basically all aggression, like all early aggression, like 3 gates,
pretty much useless.
4 gates, 3-gate robos, all that stuff, absolutely useless. Even proxy stargates, you get the Mothership Core out, you do an overcharge, it's negated. So it's very different.
I have seen, I don't know if it was effective, but I've seen bits and pieces of Adepts being used for, like, just aggravation purposes.
Adepts are super, super popular, and you're almost, I would say, it wasn't like, in the beta, before the game was released and before Adepts got nerfed, you used to see them every single game without fail. If you didn't get them, you pretty much lost. Now I usually see Adepts in PvP 70% of the time. And they're great harassing units. It's 2 shots to kill 1 probe. You can obviously use their ability where you can like cycle in and through, through different areas and be on one side and then go on the other. You can bait off overcharges. Like right now, this guy has no pylons in behind, so you would do a lot of damage because the Mothership Core can't overcharge a Nexus. So all it really, you take 2 of these bad boys, and every single shot, a probe dies. And that can be absolutely huge because a lot of the time in PvP, it boils down to economy more than anything. If you go and you get an expand, the other person doesn't, well, you need to go and kill before that economy sets in. If you're both on 2 bases and you lose 8 probes, your opponent's obviously going to have, the advantage.
Any mirror matchup, right? Anything that you can get an advantage over is going to be massive. And so the economy is obviously the #1 priority to pick away at. And like you said, there's Adepts seem to be really the only thing that you can adequately use to do that harassment now in a PvP, because everything else kind of gets thwarted by the Mothership Core overcharge. Now this is not going to do a hell of a lot.
Well, he does have Blink, but there's that overcharge, and this is what I was talking about. You really just have to get away from it, because imagine if the Stalker sat there and focused down on this pylon.
He'd lose.
These Stalkers would just wreck them.
Yeah.
You'd lose everything over what, a pylon, and then Primal would just drop down another pylon, and then there you go. The Mothership Core and the new change that they have with it is absolutely phenomenal for PvP, because it turns a coin flip matchup into still a coin flip, but it's not as like, which all-in am I going to be defending against? Is it going to be DTs? Is it going to be a 3-gate? Is it going to be 4-gate? Is it going to be Proxy Stargate? Is it going to be a Cannon Rush? Even Cannon Rushes are very, very tough to pull off now, because all you do is get the core out and you overcharge, and it's rip. So I love the changes, but the changes just don't work for, in my opinion, it works well in PvZ early on to get rid of that early Ling aggression, or even Roaches or Ravager all-ins. But when it comes down to PvT mid-game, late-game, Zerg mid-game, late-game, those pylons really don't do anything, even against Mutaballs. You have 12 Mutas, they just focus that pylon in 2 volleys, that thing is done. So it's not as scary when you've got, like, what, 2,000 hit points on a Nexus that's shooting off that has a huge radius, or you just have a pylon and you just kill it with mutas, or you bait them and you fly away and then you come back, and then you've only got 25 energy left on your Mothership Core, or nothing. You know.
No, well, it's we're not going to see any of that in this game.
No, we're actually going to get a game going here.
If mutas came out of nowhere, I'd be impressed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was just rambling. I'm just going through different scenarios.
Yeah,
and different things.
But definitely, I mean, what I'm seeing right now is Primal has gone full-blown tech to everything. I mean, we're now getting into high temp territory. He's already plopped down Robo. He's working into Speed Lot. He just seems to be just going full-blown sit on my butt and just pump out everything.
So you know what's really great about PvP as well now that can really turn the tides? Like, if you're way behind, all you need to do is get out 1 or 2 disruptors, and all it takes is 1 hit, and all Stalkers die, all Zealots die, they just fall immediately. So if you can get a defensive, like a lot of the time is in PvP, if you started to fall behind, you would just leave, because there's just no way you come back. Now all it takes is 1 or 2 good disruptor hits, and the next thing you know, the tides have turned in army count. I don't know if we're going to see that in this game or not, but right now it looks like Red does have a little bit of a bigger army, but we do have home court advantage here. He is going to focus down on that pylon. It goes down. He's going to lose the Mothership Core, which is not good at all. A time warp goes off. It takes a little bit of time for that to kick in. We do have the Blink Stalkers for Primal. It looks like we have Blink for Red as well. 1 Immortal up top here. We've got an Archon tanking a little bit of damage. The Sentry with the Guardian Shield going off. Nobody's focusing that, and it looks like Red is going to have to retreat, and once again, having that home court advantage is very huge, and he lost his Mothership Core. Didn't even really need to overcharge there either.
Lost the Mothership Core, lost the Immortal, almost lost the Archon there. Now, the Archon and the Immortal is really what saved him there. I don't think necessarily for DPS purposes, but just because of the amount of damage they soaked up and allowed the opposing Stalkers to kind of go to work. Took all the heat off of the Stalkers.
Big warp in
This
cycle.
is going to be nice, but he's counter warped at the same time, and he's going to get caught here.
Yep.
And I like that secondary warp in from behind. He's going to surround them, and he's going to clean that up real quick.
He doesn't even pick that up. Also in Legacy of the Void, in case you guys don't know, the Warp Prism range is
long
huge
distance.
now. That is the best thing about the Legacy for us. This is the biggest change that we got, is the ability to basically use Blink with your Warp Prism. And once he noticed that there were 6 Zealots surrounding him, he didn't give a shit. He just let his Zealots die.
And now he's going for Stalkers. I don't quite understand this. He's going to lose it right immediately. Now he's going to lose all these Stalkers as well.
I think he was trying to do like a 2-prong attack, but it's not going to
work out.
work
It was a little slow for it. The Stalkers need to be more forward before that happened. Here comes another warp cycle of Stalkers.
Archon goes
Gets
down.
the Archon, which is pretty nice.
That was nice.
But he also lost all those Zealots, the Warp Prism, and 4 or 5 Stalkers.
Yep.
Just to get in to attack that 1 Archon.
Not worth, bud.
That's
not worth.
That's far from an equal trade.
Yes, it is.
Far from an equal trade.
But we're still 125 supplied to 111. It's relatively even.
That guy showed up to a flea market with a binder full of Pokemon cards. Found some mom selling off the rest or trading off with her son's Pokemon cards, and said, "You know what? This Squirtle card is the shit. This card is going to make your son so happy. All I want is that Charizard." Nobody likes the Charizard. It's not a good card at all.
Not
Squirtle's
cute.
the hype. It's so rare to find. And it's blue, and blue is the new black. So you should just give me that Charizard for this Squirtle. And the mom's like, you know what? That sounds like a fair trade. And it happened. That's about the levels of fairness of trade we just saw right there.
That's not a great trade, dude.
That's not a solid trade at all.
I mean, I don't know the value of Squirtles these days, but back in the day, I mean, Charizard was
Charizard used to be like you get
was
a
the show.
first edition Charizard was a solid $500 to $600.
Oh yeah, now it's worth over $5,000. You can go buy a house if you get one of those.
It's one of the few Pokemon cards that actually held its
Hell's
value.
value. I know a lot of them it's nothing,
tanked out.
right? Yeah.
But that's still that elusive Charizard. It's the only one of the originals I didn't have. Diz had 5 and burned 4 of them.
You never had a Charizard?
No.
Holy shit.
Diz wouldn't give me one. He fucking lit him on fire with a lighter.
An asshole.
He burned like $600, $700 worth of Charizards for shit.
I got a lot of Charizards over the years.
Only
for
one I
sure.
never got.
Wow.
I had doubles of like a whole bunch of stuff. Never got a Charizard.
That's crazy. I always thought you had one.
No, never got one. Dark Charizard I had, but that was
but that was
a scrub.
yeah. Dark Charizard was
Unacceptable.
hurt. Although it did look cool. Okay, well, we finally do have,
We're gonna have a
an army.
big
And
fight.
look, there's that Disruptor. And this Disruptor can be just huge, man. One big blast, and you can take out like 7, 8, stalkers at once. He does have blink though, so usually when you see the charge, you just blink away. But we'll see if that's the case, especially when there's a big fight going on. Sometimes you
just don't see it.
You just don't see it, and there's a lot going on, so it's kind of tough to see. He's got Colossus here. This is going to be a very close battle. He has those Archons, but the Colossus,
he could lose
he's the
one
backup.
really quick. He could lose one Colossus for absolutely nothing. He does. He
my
pushes forward.
God.
2 Colossus down, 3 Colossus down,
my
4 down.
God.
And now he's got next to nothing versus a bunch of Immortal and Archon. That Disruptor hasn't been used yet.
Yeah, it just
that
got used
Immortal
and
goes
missed.
down for Red Pock.
That was absolutely worse. Oh, God.
Oh, there, GG.
There it is.
Some punk that I roughed up way back
Wow.
just came back and slapped a bitch, is what just happened right there.
Primal.
Asserting
dominance.
Rip
right there.
Rip on Red Pock.
That was a beating towards the end. It was really unfortunate. He was just moving over towards his fourth to get it. His Colossus were up in the front because Colossus do that weird shit where they don't want to follow the rest of your army. They just decide to kind of go around the...
Well, they take the path of least resistance, and because they can walk over top of ledges, it tends to be away from the rest of your army.
Yeah.
And then something like that happens. That's why you have to literally have them on a separate hotkey.
Yep.
And just click them on a stalker.
Yep.
Make them follow somebody else that is not going to walk over a cliff so that you don't lose 4 of them before the battle even starts.
Yeah, that was... Those Colossus needed to be in that army to take it out, and that was not the case. Good timing, some bad trades, some just terrible Pokemon value trades.
Awful.
But that's the way it went down. Game number 1 of the semifinals. I can actually see this potentially going to a game 3 because Red showed that he knows what he's doing. It's just a couple of unlucky breaks there and that one bad trade. Although that one bad trade didn't really change the outcome of the game, it was more so the timing and Colossus being stupid and him not really paying attention there for a T-minus.
That could have been a very different fight with 4 Colossus in the
absolutely.
back. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to get ready to jump into game number 3. Shout outs to our sponsors. If you guys haven't already picked up Loot Crate, we've got a really awesome month for December. We've got Halo 5 stuff in there. Star Wars The Force Awakens. I mean, come on. And Galaxy Quest. 10% off by using the promo code
Tim Allen. Tim Allen on that Quest bar hype.
Yep. Tim Allen, that's what's up.
Galaxy Quest is actually just Tim Allen in space at the International Space Station.
Yep.
And it's 2.5 hours of Tim Allen eating Quest bars.
I'm gonna buy that Blu-ray now. I'm gonna buy that Blu-ray.
They shot it in 4K.
There we go. Let's
Put
go.
it on the IMAX screen in 3D, and when he was done with every time he opened up a new Quest bar, he threw the package at you, and you just watched the package like...
Shut up and take my money. That's all I can say. JORD Woodwatch is $20 off, guys. That promo code is only going to be good till December 10th, so make sure you pick it up if you're going to plan on getting one as a gift or for yourself. $20 off by using the promo code BOUS, and G2A 3% off all year round.
It's good
That's
stuff.
what's up.
It's good stuff.
We'll be back for game number 2 right after this.